Now to Georgia, where the prosecutor accusing former President Donald Trump of racketeering wants him and his 18 co-defendants to go on trial in the middle of the Republican primary campaign, in which Trump is the leading candidate. Nikole Killion is outside the courthouse in Atlanta. Nikole, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Wendy. With his fourth indictment, the former president is facing an increasingly complicated legal and political schedule. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has proposed a trial date for March 4th. That is one day before Super Tuesday and a week ahead of Georgia's primary. It is also 3 weeks before his trial about alleged hush money payments in Manhattan. And there's 2 potential special counsel trials looming. Trump says no trial should occur before the 2024 election. Meanwhile, sources tell CBS News that negotiations are underway for the former president's surrender here in Atlanta. That is expected to happen sometime next week at the county jail where he'd be processed.
Nikole, concerns are growing over an increase in violent rhetoric towards people involved in some of these cases. There's even word of an arrest. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we have learned that a Texas woman has been arrested. It occurred last week for allegedly sending threatening voicemails to Judge Tanya Chutkin. She is the judge that is overseeing the 2020 election conspiracy case. And according to court documents, as you see there, the message left by Abigail Jo Schrei contained racial slurs and said, if Trump doesn't get elected in 2024, we are coming to kill you. The woman also targeted Democratic Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. And separately here in Georgia, some of the grand jurors involved in the former president's indictment are now getting violent threats, and some of their personal information has been leaked online.
As we all know, former President Donald Trump is the frontrunner in the primary. First debate is next Wednesday. With all of this going on, do we think he's going to actually make it to the debate stage?
Well, the former president has indicated he'll likely make an announcement about that this week. As sources tell us that it's unlikely that he will participate, but it's a scenario where you never say never until the former president makes it official. But we do know that a number of other GOP candidates have qualified for that debate in Milwaukee, which is now just less than a week away. But certainly, if the former president does not participate, it's likely the debate could still be all about him, which has been something that a lot of these GOP candidates have really struggled in terms of their messaging and sometimes being overshadowed by the former president. So whether he's there or not, he's likely to still be a prominent figure in the process.
What do you think are the broader political implications in Georgia with this case going on?
Well, you know, look, I think in talking to a number of Georgia officials, both Democrats and Republicans, you know, many of them really kind of want to put this behind them, but that will be very difficult given the complicated nature of this case, the sprawling nature of it with 19 defendants. And as we just pointed out, you know, a trial potentially set to start right in the middle of the primary. So it will be very difficult to kind of move past this. You have the former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, who penned an op-ed this week saying that he hopes that this indictment is a pivot point for Republicans, that, you know, perhaps many of them will kind of stray away from the former president and not hew so closely to his messages, even if they like his policies. But, you know, he feels that the former president carries too much baggage and that Republicans here really should try to cut their ties. But that being said, we know that the former president does have strong ties here in the state. He has been here a number of times, so it really kind of is an example not only of what we're seeing in Georgia, but certainly across the country, including in Congress, as, you know, Republican lawmakers in particular try to grapple with whether they will align themselves with the former president in light of all of, you know, this legal baggage, or if they, you know, step away and step apart from him.
Nikole, you might be looking at some very busy days next week. Thank you.
You bet.